Brace yourself. It's that time again. Sorry. Sorry. Problem with the mic. We got it. I wasn't all the way plugged in. We're all set? All right. What you just saw was what I see when we first start. We tried to pull it off, but thanks, Mike. Anyway, welcome. I got to tell you, this week, I was actually, the other night, watching TV, I saw a commercial. Now, I don't usually pay attention to commercials, but for some reason, I watched this commercial, and I believe it was All Brand, the cereal. Now, if any of you have seen this, it's the construction worker talking about how good All Brand is for you. Now, in the first scene, the construction worker's standing in front of a concrete block wall, and there's a steel beam hooked to a cable that gets pulled out of the wall behind him. In the next scene, the guy's still talking about how good the All Brand is, and you see barrels rolling out of a pickup truck and landing on the ground. And in the last scene, still talking about how good All Brand is for you, a dump truck backs in and starts raising up, and a load of bricks dumps out. Now, this is a very creative commercial, because what does Brand do for you? Makes you regular. Eat enough Brand, you'll be dumping bricks. Yeah. So, but I don't know why it got me, but all of a sudden it was just like, that commercial's weird. Let's get to some news this week. A teenager who fell 6 stories from a hotel balcony and walked away. He, 17 years old, apparently he was standing on one of the balconies, reaching up to the next balcony above him to get his bathing suit that had came down from the 11th floor. And why it came down from the 11th floor, I don't know. But it said he hit other balconies on the way down, slammed onto a slanted rooftop, and slid into the bushes. And he got up, started walking back to his room, but the paramedics strapped him to a stretcher and took him away. And tests showed he was fine. It's minor scrapes and bruises. His sister says this was a God is real event. So, yeah, 6 stories and he bounced. All right, this one. This makes no sense at all. Out in Los Angeles, a federal judge in Los Angeles has banned the Navy, the United States Navy, from using sonar because it harms marine mammals and stuff and animals. Meanwhile, if we don't use sonar, submarines can sneak in and shoot missiles at us. Navy said even a temporary ban would disrupt training of sailors before they're sent overseas. And I don't know, it's just, there's been a lawsuit filed by the Natural Resources Defense Council. Apparently the Save the Whales and things like that is all right, as, you know, doesn't matter if all of us die as long as the whales are safe. This one, just plain stupid, from Concord, and it's another one of those cases where parents are living through their kids' sports experiences because apparently a bunch of angry fans and parents got upset with an umpire's call during a Little League game. And somebody ended up throwing a pizza at the umpire and hitting the umpire and another fan. And there were, I believe there were charges filed. But I mean, it's stupid. If your kids are in sports, do them a favor, stay at home. Let them do their sports themselves, without your input. Get used to bad calls from umpires. It happens all the time. Happened just the other night when that umpire called that ball a home run there that Barry Bonds hit. Yeah. Apparently the kid isn't giving the ball. He didn't just give the ball back. And I don't know. I guess he told Bonds he'd give it back for a ton of money. But I mean, well, I would too. Sell it on eBay. What's another funny one? I'll do this one. This one's kind of funny, but it's not around here. From New Port Richey, Florida. Michael Francis Wiley, 40, was sentenced to 5 years in prison on felony driving and drug charges. And he was also sentenced to 15 years of drug offender probation. He said in court, "I just want to say I know what I did was wrong. I am truly sorry." In his most recent brush with the law last May, Wiley sped off in a Ford Explorer when the cops approached him at a convenience store. And the cops took off after him but called off the chase after like 8 minutes because they didn't want to put anybody in danger. His defense attorney pleaded for leniency and a minimum sentence of 2.5 years, and he cited his client's need for treatment of his many physical and mental problems, including a pain disorder which was related to the amputation of one arm and both of his legs. Oh, no, it is. Both arms and one leg is what it is. Yeah. And apparently he starts the car with his toes, shifts with his knee, and steers with the stump of his left arm, and turns on the lights with his teeth. Apparently he doesn't use his directionals. But he's already spent, it says he taught himself to drive after losing both arms and a leg in an electrical accident when he was 13. And he's 40 now. He's already spent more than 3 years in prison for habitually driving without a license and kicking a state trooper. Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. You only get one chance. Exactly, Greg. Yeah. And this one is even funnier because it's right here in New Hampshire. Story out of Manchester. Apparently in Goffstown, the police officers, half the police department can't complete their yearly shooting tests because the police department doesn't have enough ammunition. And supplies ordered in February still haven't arrived because I guess the military is buying up all the bullets. And New Boston police chief says his officers are waiting for new bulletproof vests because most of the ones being made are for the Army and for the military. So, I mean, when police departments don't have enough bullets, even for testing, I mean, that's
what happens when they have to fight crime.
You're right.
Sucks to be you.
So, if you want to go someplace that's safe to commit crimes, Goffstown, because they got no bullets. All right. That's all the news I got, all the local news. And we'll get ready for crew call, give the crew a chance to set up. And we're going to start with Greg on camera 1 as usual. And we better introduce Jane next because Mike's got a special treat for us, Jane, in our little
And
director's
and
chair.
let's make it known that he's without shoes again.
Of course he is. Greg likes to be barefoot. He's a deadhead. Um, and now we got Mike. And starting this week, seeing how the season is upon us, Mike is going to give us a little rundown on what the Patriots are doing this week. So how's things, Mike?
Hey, not bad, not bad. Rick, yourself?
Very good.
Yeah, life is going to start again now, Patriots.
Yes. Yes.
Friday night at 8. At 7:30, it starts on Channel 9. They're playing the Bucks, Tampa Bay. First preseason game. We've got, on the 17th, we've got the Titans, the 24th, Panthers, and then the New York Giants to end up the thing, end up the preseason. Yeah. Hopefully, we picked up Randy Moss and a few other receivers for Brady this year, so hopefully we'll have a little bit better season than we did last year.
Cool.
We'll see what preseason brings and see how we gel together, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow night's game doesn't really mean much, but
No, just to see if we can get the team to work together, see who's going to work within the team, and see what we got to put together. So
yeah, it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, well,
The early ones are always good because, like, the guys get hit in the back of the head with the passes. They don't
That's
even
right.
bother turn around.
Yeah.
So,
Tripping and all that kind of fun
Yeah.
stuff, you know. And,
yeah, nobody's used to anything.
Smelly on the sidelines that way, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but we'll have a little more update after Patriots starts a little bit more. We're just going to, like I said, it's preseason. We'll see what happens. We'll
Yep.
just see what happens, see how we evolve.
Yeah, maybe you can look into some of the other new players we've got. Give us
Yes,
a
I
rundown
will.
on some of
I'll-
them for next week.
Yes, I will.
Cool.
Some
Thank
of the
you,
new
Mike.
players. No problem. Go Pats.
Yeah. Now we'll go into the booth. Bruce and Andrea in there. And Andrea, we're
How's it going out there, Rick?
good. How are you? Sorry about that little mic thing at the beginning.
Yeah, it helps to remember to plug that in before we get started. But
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
stuff happens.
Well, you know.
So, but no,
So-
we're doing okay this week.
It
Things
worked.
going all right.
Yeah, and the shot was good.
The shot
I
looked
mean,
good.
the
except
camera was good.
The commentary was a little off.
Yeah, well, I was concentrating on other things. And we have NASCAR. Andrea with NASCAR.
Yeah, we have NASCAR, and I didn't win anything this week.
No, and
But it stayed home.
Bruce got the money.
The money stayed home because Bruce got it.
that's right.
Junior finished second.
Junior had a great race.
Yeah, he did. He had an awesome race. He was doing so bad, and I'll be darned if they didn't change one of his shocks. And the next thing I know, he was up to second when he finished. So he ended up with a really good finish. But Kurt Busch had an awesome run. He ended up running, I think it was 176 laps. So that was really good. And I'm not a Kurt Busch fan, but I have to give the devil his due. He did a good job. He had an excellent car.
Yeah, he pretty much dominated the entire
Oh, he
race.
did. He dominated the race.
Yeah.
Denny Hamlin took third, and that's your guy, so you ought to be proud of that.
Yeah, yeah. I was
And,
hoping he could have passed out one more guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he got past Jeff Gordon, so hey,
Yeah.
you can't beat that.
No, that's all right.
But anyways, that was it for the race itself. Now the standings, you ended up with Jeff Gordon, Denny Hamlin, Matt Kenseth, Jeff Burton, and Tony Stewart is now up in fifth.
Oh, cool.
So that's where the first five are standing. So that's not bad. And they are actually going to be heading on to Watkins Glen this week. And that ought to be a good race. And it ought to be a good race for a couple of reasons. Bruce and I sat and watched the Busch race. And the Busch race was one good race. It was an excellent race. It was the first one that they'd had up in Montreal. And I can't say his name, but he's a native of Canada. He took the pole in front of his hometown.
Yep.
Yeah, Bruce said he thinks it's Carpentier, and he ran an excellent race, but unfortunately he didn't win. But now the winner on that race was Harvick, and I would never have guessed it. Now I was pulling for Marcus Ambrose, and I got really, really, really pissed off because Robbie Gordon spun him out.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Boy, oh boy, did it make me mad. Spun him out. He ended up coming in seventh, but it was a free-for-all afterwards because when they were ready to do their burnouts, Harvick's doing his burnout because he won the race. Robbie Gordon says he won the race, so he's doing a burnout. NASCAR says, no, you didn't win the race, Robbie. You're disqualified. So the bottom line was NASCAR came down real hard on him. They said what he did was extremely disrespectful to NASCAR, and it was kind of an embarrassment as far as I'm concerned in front of, you know, a Montreal crowd. First time out, and they do something, he does something like that. But he ended up getting fined, I want to say $25,000 at that point, and he had to sit out the Cup race the next day. Then NASCAR came down even harder on him. He got fined an additional $35,000. He's on probation through the end of the year. So, and they said if he pulls any more shenanigans, he will be parked indefinitely.
Wow.
But now here's some little icing on the cake. He was feeling kind of remorseful because he said he felt bad because NASCAR put him in a position to do what he did. And what he essentially did is he was kind of punishing Marcus Ambrose for NASCAR coming down on him. So he has offered Marcus Ambrose a chance to qualify his second car in the Cup race at Watkins Glen this Sunday, which is a real strange twist. So you could see two Robbie Gordon cars in the race, if they both qualify, I should say. So it was kind of an odd twist.
Not much of a twist. I mean, Ambrose isn't he a road course ringer?
He's a road course racer.
Yeah,
and,
see, that's why.
Oh yeah, and well, that's it. Robbie said he did it for several reasons. And one of the reasons, though, too, that he said was because he did respect his driving ability and that Ambrose was an excellent road course driver.
Yep.
And he's no dummy. That boy knows which side his bread's buttered on. But the other thing, and it's just speculation right now, there's nothing that's been cast in stone as of the last time I looked at the website, and that is that Kyle Busch, the little shrub, may possibly be signing with Joe Gibbs Racing. and they said, Bruce said that was supposed to be announced. But he's just such a little whiny little worm. But Joe Gibbs is probably the best one. He can probably handle him because he's handled football players. He can probably give him a good swift kick in the side of the britches.
Oh yeah, Joe Gibbs knows how to run a team.
Oh yeah,
So.
yeah. He'll. But I'll tell you what, that's gonna. When you put Denny Hamlin, Tony Stewart, and now the little shrub all in one team, that's gonna go over like a fart in church. It's unbelievable. I can't wait to see what happens. Oh, sorry. But anyways.
They'll manage.
Yeah, sorry about that. But anyhow, that's pretty much it for NASCAR this week.
Well, thank you, Andrea.
Okay, my face is red now.
Well, back in 1977, this week in 1977, the law passed saying that motorcycle helmets were no longer required for motorcyclists over 18 years old. And at that point, Connecticut was the only other New England state without a helmet law. And this article says in Michigan, where helmets are required, the percentage of injuries and deaths is now 3 times lower than in Illinois, which was another one of the helmetless states. And it gave statistics like 17 people died in motorcycle accidents in 1976 in New Hampshire, and 14 had been killed so far in 77. But that, yeah, we still got no helmet law and no federal road taxes, no federal road assistance. Edwards Air Force Base this week in 1977, the Space Shuttle Enterprise was getting its maiden flight. And it wasn't getting shot into space, it was getting dropped off of the 747 that it was flying on top of. And another article the next day in the Sentinel said that it had a picture-perfect first flight and everything went spectacularly. And yeah, so the Space Shuttle Enterprise. And yeah, I'm pretty sure they named that after the Star Trek Enterprise, I think.
Of course. Why wouldn't they?
I don't know. There's one that was kind of scary, and any of you old guys might remember this. This week in 1977, it was announced that the Ford Pinto gas tank location was pretty deadly because more than 500 people had burned to death in pre-1977 Pintos because every time they got even like a 10-mile-an-hour crash to the back end, the car burst into flames. So, yeah, and the figure could be as high as 900. Ford knows the Pinto is a fire trap, yet it has paid out millions to settle damage suits out of court instead of just fixing the problems. Yeah, that's the way it is. Lubbock, Texas, this week in 1977. A man named John Wesley Phillips seemed to be living his life backwards. He was 89 years old, and he'd worked most of his life, and he decided he was going to start college. Yep, did things backwards, because it was the only way he could manage it. He worked all his life, and at 89, he enrolled in college and went to college. Doesn't say how it went, but this one was funny. From Britt, Iowa. Starts out with saying, Sparky Smith says he's going to be the best darn king there's ever been. Because it seems he was elected king of the hobos back in 1977. And it's the annual Hobo Days celebration. And it's given the Northern Iowa community of 2000 national prominence every year for the past 80 years. He was a 62-year-old man, and he said he would wear the coffee can crown symbolic of hobo royalty for the next year with pride. And he beat out 12 other candidates, including such stalwarts as Fry Pan Jack, Slow Motion Shorty, and the Pennsylvania Kid. Big names in the hobo world, I might add.
Hoboken?
No, this was in Britt, Iowa. The hobos moved out of Hoboken long ago. And Mickey Longlooker Mick Denfield of Rockwell City, Iowa, was chosen queen of the hobos. And it was the 6th time she had won the title in the last 8 years. She bested 3 other women, including her daughter. Yeah. The crowning of the king and queen followed a 1.5-mile-long parade and a noontime mulligan stew feed, in which the townspeople prepared 450 gallons of mulligan stew, and the hobos and convention watchers gathered around the kettles. That's the coolest thing. I remember hobos. When I was growing up, I wanted to be a hobo. Here's a man that's never been a hobo, Mike Blastos. And this week in 1977, Mike Blastos says, by now you must be aware that our federal government is debating the merits of allowing ice cream manufacturers to produce ice cream without using milk or cream. The proposal would allow them to use an imported milk-derived ingredient called caseinate. Proponents of this idea claim that the public could never tell the difference. I just want to go on the record that as long as I sell ice cream, it will be the real thing. There's enough substitutes and phoniness in the world today without buying a cone for your favorite kid and having to wonder what kind of chemicals you're giving to him or her. No, sir. If I have to manufacture my own ice cream, I hope I never have to, you may be sure that I believe in the real, the richest, and the best. And I think he's shooting for the richest. All right. Where am I? CD review. this week, CD from from 2000 is Clay Davidson, Unconditional. And I don't know if any of you have heard of him, because I don't think he's put out anything since this album. The song that made it big was the title song, Unconditional, where he talked about a son walking away from his father and saying, I hate you, and then it went into the chorus about how, no matter what you do, you can't keep me from loving you because my love is unconditional. Yeah, it's a sad song. And there are a few sad songs on here. But it's kind of rocky, kind of country rock. I don't know, would you say Garth Brooks? It was about that time when he came out, another artist came out named Chad Brock, who had like one big hit and like a country Jimmy Buffett kind of feel to his music. But that's why it was new artist coming up. And whether it's a one-hit wonder, I think every song on here is good. There's one song, God, what's the name of it? That I can't remember. Plain Old Pain is one that is just hard-hitting and it's fantastic. And One More Day was another one it just lays it out, What's one more day of life's sorrows, But excellent album. Country, kind of slow, easy, nothing that, of course, I tap my foot about anything, but yeah, it's worth listening to. If you probably find it at the used record stores or whatever. Anyway, all right, that's the CD. We'll go into our out and about, and the only thing I haven't been out to see any bands are playing. It was mentioned to me that on Saturday at 11 o'clock at the Elks Camp, I believe, out on East Surrey Road, is the Eagles Family Picnic. And it's a great event held by the Eagles Club every year. There is an admission, and it's for members and bona fide guests. But, I mean, if you live in Keene, chances are you know somebody that belongs to the Eagles. And they'll basically let anybody come, There's music, barbecue, a ton of stuff for kids to do. And it's always been a very well put together event.
Have you been?
I was, when did I go? 2 years ago, I think. Or maybe it was last year. But yeah, I mean, it's a great day. And unfortunately, I have to work on Saturday night, so I can't go out and get all drunk on Saturday afternoon, So actually, Saturday afternoon, we'll all be here taking our certification course.
I'm gonna be all certified.
Birthdays this week. August 6th, writer-director M. Night Shyamalan. He did all those weird village movies, The Idiots in the Village or whatever, I don't know, all the horror movies. And actress Soleil Moon Frye. Anybody remember who she is?
Punky Brewster.
Punky Brewster. She turned 31 this week.
You knew that.
Mm-hmm.
On August 7th. Humorist Garrison Keillor is 65. Singer B.J. Thomas is 65. Does anybody remember what he did?
God didn't make a Little Green Apples.
He did Little Green Apples. He also did Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, which became the, what'd you call it, the love song from Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Yeah.
Actor David Duchovny of The X-Files is 47 this week. And actress Charlize Theron is 32. Local birthdays. Well, not so much local because they live. Is this another one that lives there in that Fuquay Varina? Yeah, I like saying that. Fuquay Varina. Andrea's third son, Mike Marshall, turns 33. Okay. On August 9th. And on August 14th, Mike's son Sam turns 7. Here's another this is actually an anniversary, and it's a big one too, because on August 7th, a lady named Marcia Pate has been at the Grange, National Grange Mutual, for 35 years. That's a long time to sit in one little cubicle. I hope they at least moved her around the building a few times, so keep it interesting for her. But congratulations, Marcia. Marcia. Yeah. Did they give her any kind of prize or anything? Any kind of watch or? They did? Well, that's cool of them. That was nice. All right.
Now there's a pattern going on where every week the birthdays that are of somebody of her family, the big family that she's got.
She's got a huge family, yeah. And if anybody.
That's 'cause I got the 5 sons, the 4 daughter-in-laws, and the 14 grandkids. There's a lot.
It takes up the whole year.
Yeah. And if you want your birthday memorialized here on Unfiltered, send me an email at headforlaughs@hotmail.com, and we'll announce your birthday right here. I've also, I wasn't sure if I should do this, Bruce, but I do want to make the announcement about the 50th episode. There's going to be some changes in the 50th episode.
We're all fired.
I'm
That was last week.
starting with episode number 50 on September 6th. I will be joined by a co-host, a very beautiful young lady named Alethea Glimanakis. Yeah. And of course, I was telling Lee about it today, and I said, we're going to be like Regis and Kelly. And he said, yeah, if Regis was the devil. So I don't know what he meant by that, but she's kind of nervous, but
So she taking over James' job?
no,
Not a co-host.
no, Jane's Gelman. She'll still be out there throwing in her 2
I'll
cents
still
worth.
be thrown in the corner.
Yeah, yeah, it's all right.
All right.
All right, I'm into stuff now, and I've got some fantastic stuff. Where do I want to start, though? Let me start with the stupidest one of all. New York City is banning the words bitch and hoe, and they're targeting it at rappers. And it's a story that doesn't make sense. They're words. What they have to do is they just have to, get people not to use them. You can't ban words. And I don't know whether it'll do any good, but it comes right back down. You don't have to ban words if you teach your kids from an early age. Teach them respect. Teach them that everybody deserves respect. And I don't know, we wouldn't have these problems, but apparently nobody's got enough time to teach kids respect. Instead, they turn to things like Baby Einstein videos. Have you seen the commercials for these stupid little things? You put the video in for your kid. It's like a lot of bright, bouncy shapes and stuff, supposed to keep the kid happy. Found an article that says these Baby Einstein videos are making our kids stupider. Kids that watch Baby Einstein videos have 6 to 8 fewer words in their vocabularies compared with other children of their age, children whose parents talk to them and stuff. And these are put out by the Brainy Baby Company and Walt Disney Company. Markets them. And this doctor that it quotes here in the article says she'd rather babies watch American Idol than these Baby Einstein things. But the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends no television for children younger than 24 months. No television at all.
They now have the baby channel. I've seen it on the cable channels. It's listed at the baby channel, and it's for babies. People,
Is it like pictures of other babies or?
No, it's programming for babies. I guess they like play music and they, different things that are
Nice.
supposed to, but it's still television. It's still
Yeah.
getting that
Yeah, and
focus on
that
television.
group says no television whatsoever.
Now, did you watch a lot of television when you were a child to come up with the word stupider?
No, I'm pretty sure I learned that one of my English classes. And it was probably English 101 in college where I learned that one. Franklin Pierce, one of them little satellite schools, They didn't have much money. There's another stupid one. Another study. I don't know who does these damn studies, but this is the Journal Archives of Pediatrics and Adolescent Medicine. Found that infants born to obese mothers are 1/3 more likely to suffer significant birth defects. The article goes on to say that more than 50% of women aged 20 to 39 are overweight or obese. And the very end says that, they're talking about stuff like spina bifida,
That's bad.
Omphalocylia, a condition in which the intestines or other organs protrude from the belly button. But at the end it says it might be that obesity does not cause the defects, but is a marker for other factors that do. And they said that one possibility is that the obese mothers have undiagnosed type 2 diabetes. But other explanations include differences in the food that obese women eat. So,
I always thought that birth defects were caused by genes, by a bad gene. Bruce.
well, no, not necessarily, because a lot of mothers that do hard drugs and stuff,
Yeah.
that can affect development. You know all the stuff you weren't supposed to do when you was pregnant,
Yeah.
or else it could cause harm to your baby. So, yeah. How about a story about binge drinking? Any binge drinkers watching the show? The story out of Atlanta says that binge drinkers are more likely to have a glass of beer than liquor. Well, if you're talking about adult binge drinkers. Teenagers prefer liquor. Which, it's understandable. As a teenager, I drank a lot of liquor because it was easier to steal out of my parents' liquor cabinet. Dad would notice one beer out of 6 gone, but he wouldn't notice half a cup of his half-gallon bottle of vodka missing. Plus the fact that you could drink less and get drunker. But yeah, it's a whole story about teen drinking and teen binge drinking. And what binge drinking is, it comes right down to binge drinking is when you drink specifically to get drunk. I don't know. It's weird. Which one? This one. This is the rifles. I'm going to talk about weapons again. Because last week I talked about the United States selling $20 billion worth of weapons to the Saudis. Listen to this. We think we've given the Iraqi insurgents 190,000 weapons. Yeah, because they're missing. They're missing. The 190,000 weapons, and the breakdown is 110,000 AK-47s and 80,000 pistols that we supplied to the Iraqi security forces are now missing. Whether the Iraqi security, I don't know if that many Iraqi security force people are missing, or if they just went out and sold their guns because somebody gave them, enough to buy a loaf of bread for.
They're probably the ones that have the ammunition that Goffstown is supposed to have.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, I was telling Bruce about this story the other day, and he said, AK-47s are Russian weapons. And I said, yeah, because we probably, at the end of the Cold War, we probably bought them all from the Russians because they were cheap. And, I mean, technically, the AK-47 is a way better weapon than the M16. Sorry. But the less maintenance, you know, ease of operation. But yeah, now, this is the thing that's kind of troubling. Because usually, when we've gone into countries to develop security forces, and we've done stuff in, I believe, Somalia, I don't know, did we set up a bunch of other places that we've set up?
Afghanistan.
Well, not Afghanistan. It's a failure right now. I'm not going to talk about that. But there are people that say, oh, I can go and fight Osama in a minute. But they haven't. But back when we did that kind of thing, the security assistance programs were run by the State Department. Not so in Iraq. In Iraq, we went with, let's let the Pentagon handle stuff. And I don't know, they believe that the Government Accountability Office they think that they're in the hands of the insurgents, being used against American troops.
All military personnel?
I don't know.
Is it all military personnel within the Pentagon? Is there a little bit of black market going on?
Oh, no doubt.
God knows that's been going on for a hell of a long time.
Yeah, not only are we selling one faction weapons, we're just giving weapons to people that are actually in the process of killing us.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Set them up and shoot the hell out of them.
you know, that's like an insurgent setting up one of those little photo booths, saying, Joe, come I take your picture, $5. And he's got a gun in the camera.
Yeah, and if you stand still, I might take two of you for one.
Yeah, you know, stupid. If we're going to fight a war, we better fight a war. Here's another war that I'm getting on the bandwagon right now. Speaking of getting on the bandwagon, the mayor's race is getting ready to start. And I've been thinking about running for mayor. Yeah, you think? I could run for mayor. Although, you know, I really wouldn't want to take the loss of status.
We'd vote for you.
There's a few people that will vote for me. My first city ordinance, all buildings will be orange. Only during the month of October, though. Once November 1st comes, they better be back to purple. I made the mistake of watching Glenn Beck last night. And, I mean, I love Glenn Beck. He wasn't on. He's on vacation or something, but he's got some other goober guy filling in for him. But the guy still talks about the same stuff Glenn Beck does. And he was telling a story last night about a man in Stuart, Florida. Oh, this got my goat. Not to mention, I saw a follow-up story and then something different today that even sunk it in further. Now, this is something I've hammered to death since I've been doing this show. This man in Stuart, Florida owns a company called Seacoast Water. And he has a little business in a little small strip mall in Stuart, Florida. And he's been there for 7 years. He got a letter recently from his landlord saying that he was going to be evicted because the landlord is trying to find businesses that will cater strictly to the Spanish community. So because this man doesn't speak Spanish, he's being evicted from his store. How sick is that? Something even sicker? Univision, a Spanish television station channel, whatever it is, they're planning on holding 2 presidential debates in the fall in Spanish. Now, the story went by so fast, I was trying to take notes and stuff, and I didn't really understand it. But I believe that the candidates are going to speak Spanish during this debate, which I don't know what that proves.
That they've learned their second language.
That was number 2. Number 3 was when I saw today that, and probably right now as a matter of fact, in Merrimack, New Hampshire, they're having a vote to add Spanish signs on their beaches for the rules. Because they've got American signs that say no smoking on the beach, no this on the beach, no that on the beach, but the rules are being broken by people that don't understand the signs. I grew up in a country where ignorance of the law was no excuse. If you can't read the sign, get somebody to read the sign to you. Blind people can't read signs. But somebody tells them what the sign says. And here it is. I'm going to say it one more time. This is America. We speak English here. Legal immigrant, illegal immigrant. I don't care. Learn the language. Learn our culture. And learn our customs. You know, we don't celebrate Boxing Day here. If you want Boxing Day, go to Canada. You know, if you want Chinese New Year, go to China. Because us changing our language because of the Latino community is stupid. If we all emigrated to China, they wouldn't make a law saying everybody in China has to learn English. It would be no. If you go to China, you learn Chinese. I was in the Navy. We went to Spain. We went to Italy. Before we got to those ports, the Navy gave us little booklets. Here, a few key words you may want to learn. You know, it was basically how to say beer in Spanish, wine in Spanish, liquor in Spanish, and bail in Spanish. Was pretty much what it was. You know, how to get by. But those people didn't change their society because of you, and we shouldn't change our society for immigrants. And immigrants built this country. Polish people came. We're not speaking Polish, they learned English. Germans came. We're not speaking German. Italians came. We're not speaking Italian. And we will not speak Spanish. Learn the language or hang out with somebody that knows the language. It's, God, right back. I mean, we did not, you know, spend 100 years killing off an entire race of Native American people so the Spanish people could come in and tell us to speak Spanish. We killed off those Indians because we didn't want to learn their language. So we killed them, which is the reason we're killing the Iraqi people. Because if any of us go to Iraq, we don't want to have to learn Farsi. We'll go over there and speak English.
I got angry when we went on our cruise, and we went to Florida, and we were coming up the stairs, and Mike had asked the woman if she had gone in to clean our room or if she was going to go in and clean our room or something, and she looked right at us and said, "Don't speak English." And I thought, the nerve!
Yeah.
That made me angry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least one thing, if you leave your diary on the bed, they can't read it.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, this is America. And granted, America was built by immigrants, but the immigrants that came here because they wanted to be here. They wanted to be American. If you want to come here, come here. But when you're here, you're going to be American. And if you want to keep your language, fine. I grew up with some kids that had French heritage. And in the house, all they spoke was French. And it was grandmother and the parents living there with the kids. And in the house, they would speak French. When they were in public, perfect English.
Yeah. But they got to learn 2 languages, too, the children did, from having that experience.
Right. And I mean, that's a good
And
thing.
that's a good thing.
That is a good thing to learn different languages. But to have to learn them to live in your own country is not right. You know, we do all our commerce in English. The dollars. You know, I mean, we're not spending pesos.
Do you realize how many
know?
channels on, like, we have satellite, and how many channels are Spanish?
Yeah, and what's on them? Half-naked soap opera girls with big boobs busting out of their shirts and short skirts and just the stupidest friggin' things.
No.
You can't watch it. Well, they got the talk show. I add my own words, you know.
Hey, if you put subtitles, will the English subtitles come up?
You know, that would make the Spanish channel world. I would watch the Spanish channel if they'd put English subtitles. You know,
Well,
closed caption it in English.
They put
so I
wrestling
could
on, and they
understand
put
it.
boxing on, and it's stuff that we've watched, but they're doing they do it all in Spanish.
Yeah, and
The
yet
commentaries
nobody-
all in Spanish.
Nobody has ever complained that the only table that ever gets smashed in wrestling is the Spanish announcer's table. You know, nobody's throwing a fit about that. But every time a table gets broke, oh, it's the Spanish broadcast table. Oh, so sorry.
Get off our TV.
It's just so stupid anyway. But yeah, and this whole presidential debate thing
They
in
can't vote.
Spanish.
Can they?
Legal ones can vote, and I believe now they are printing the ballots in a variety of languages. It's idiotic. And, I mean, I don't...
Rick, I'm sorry, I have a problem. I can't understand what the damn politicians are talking about in English. How the heck am I going to figure it out in Spanish?
Yeah. I watched some of that AFL-CIO debate thing that they had the other night. The biggest highlight they had was Hillary Clinton saying, if you want somebody that's tough and knows how to handle them, I'm your girl. Yeah, she's our girl. Team her up with Barack Obama, and then we've set 2 history-breaking things. You know, we've had the first president and vice president to get assassinated together within the first year. Because granted, maybe a woman president would work. And I guess if any woman was going to be president, she's probably got the big enough balls to do it.
She's tough.
She proved that with her husband.
She's tough.
Because, I mean, she's already ran the country for 4 years. 8 years. Well, how long was?
8.
8 years. See, she ran the country for 8 years already. And did a pretty damn nice job of it. Other than the whole sex stuff and
She carried herself well.
that
in
real
all
estate deal. Was that the Whitewater thing
Oh,
and all that? I mean, but, you know. My problem with a woman president, really, is that, you know, there's going to be that day when things are, you know, kind of edgy around the office, but she's got PMS. You can't, don't let a woman with PMS, PMDD, PHMR, whatever all any of them initials are, don't let a girl like that near the button. You know? I mean, it would be like,
Chocolate and salt.
yeah, keep her away from the button, though, because, I don't know. And Barack, it's just going to be that one day he's going to snap and relive his, you know, slavery days and all of a sudden be pissed that we had slaves, you know. But that was another case. The reason that we put the blacks in chains in the first place was because we couldn't understand them and we didn't want to learn their language, you know? So, I don't know. And I thought we'd outgrown all that. But apparently, we're going to we're going to change. The United States will soon be Spanish-speaking everywhere, Spanish titles. And, you know, if that's the case, then we've got a lot of documents out here on the bulletin board that are going to have to be copied, one copy in Spanish, one copy in French, because, I mean, we're more likely to get French Canadians down here. than
I'm a French Canadian.
than we are. And if you go to Quebec, do they all start speaking English because you're English?
No.
No.
They actually refuse to a lot of them. They're made to learn English there. For some reason, their country makes them learn English
Because they
but
do trade with
refuse
America.
to speak it even when we're there. You know, when you go to visit, they will not make an exception
Well, now,
to speak it.
I believe, whose territory, is that a French, that's a French territory. I believe they tried to, the rest of Canada tried to get Quebec to change their language
Yeah.
to speak the same as the rest of Canada. And Quebec said, no, we're not going to do it. We're going to continue with our French heritage.
Yeah.
You know, which is fine because that's where they've always lived. You
When
know?
we used to bring them to Beach Hill, a lot of them would refuse to speak the language.
Right.
They would refuse to. But we had nurses there that could speak French, so they would, for a little while, they would humor them until they, you know, you want to detox, you'll speak English.
Oh, right. But I mean, these were people that
They knew
that
them.
usually when they were done with their treatment, they went back to Canada, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. What I'm saying is if you're going to emigrate to the United States, then by all means, you know, become a citizen. One of the requirements of becoming a citizen is to learn the language, you know? And that's, I mean, you go around, give everybody a language test right now, and the people that can't pass language test, kick them out of the country.
Hey Rick, think about it. When you go out to the store and you buy a new item, like Bruce bought me a bread maker, we bought a new phone, we had the computer, all kinds of new things. Try to figure out which set of directions you gotta read. You gotta go through to hell and gone before you find the English one.
Exactly.
There's English, there's Spanish, and there's French in there, and I'm not sure if there's any others, but I know there's at least 3.
I've seen if you buy a VCR or something, or a DVD player, a lot of them have Japanese instructions too. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's hard to even follow those pictures. But, you know, and most of the stuff that you're buying these days got that little sticker on the bottom that says made in Mexico because those people work for $2 an hour. You know? I mean, there's a big thing going on right now about, I saw on that debate where it was, 30 seconds. Oh, all right. Well, I want to thank my crew, Greg, Jane, Mike, Bruce, and Andrea. Thank Lee. I want to thank Mom's Tattoo and Gemini Screen Print. And who else do I want to thank? Nobody.